Hello and welcome to Music Brain. Today I'm going to talk about two albums. This one, Nunsexmonkrock by Nina Hagen, and this one, New Hope for the Wretched by the Plasmatics. So Nina Hagen's one's first. I think she's German and usually sings in German, but this particular album, which was an early 80s album, is sung in English, or mainly sung in English, and it covers things like demons and Jesus and UFOs. So yeah, just listen to it, it's absolutely fantastic. What makes this interesting, apart from the great different weird interesting music it is the fact that she has a massive range in her vocals. She can go from guttural low to I don't know how many octaves high she can go, and it's so different, and it's of its age, I suppose. I mean, it's sort of punky and experimental, but I really urge you to give that one a listen, because there's so few female singers that really do it for me, really, I have to admit. But she really does. What a character, absolutely brilliant. I think she's still singing to this day, although she's not going to have quite the range that she once did. Check that one out, Nunsexmonkrock. The second one is one that I got very recently, because when I was on eBay looking at an album, I usually go into what else the seller is selling, because I think, well, if they like that, which is like-minded to what I like, they might have something else. And this came up, and it reminded me of when I was a zitty, punky little kid. I bought a single by the Plasmatics because Wendy O. Williams had hardly anything on, so of course I'm going to buy it. Got it home, took out the single, and it was a yellow vinyl with red spots splattered all over it. Yeah, anyway, I recognised the album cover and bought it, because I never actually had the album, stuck it on and listened to it. The thing about this is, okay, it's not the most fantastic music you've ever heard, but it's more like that sort of backstory and the attitude that I quite like. And if nothing else, there's a track on there called Dream Lover, and halfway through the track, I think they all were in different rooms and were told just to play something. They didn't hear what each other were playing, and the results were on that track. And for anybody, if you're like me, who don't mind a bit of avant-garde and experimentation, then I thought that was worth it, just to hear how that came out. She committed suicide. Actually, she threatened to commit suicide, and many years later she did. So she died at her own hand, really, but she was a crazy character and very much her own woman. And yeah, so her name's Wendy O. Williams, in case I didn't say. You'll see sort of videos on YouTube of sort of the things and antics that she got up to, but I mean, one of the things was there's a track that I think it's on here anyway, but it's a live video of them with this particular track, and I can't remember the track it is, but it's on here. And she just sort of comes on stage, starts singing this song, gets a stick of, or what's meant to be a stick of dynamite, waves it around in front of the crowd, and then chucks it in a car that's on stage, and the thing blows up, flies everywhere, goes into the crowd, ear splitting, and you think, health and safety didn't exist in the 70s or whenever this was. I think it must have been in the late 70s. Yeah, I mean, it could have killed somebody, but she did it, and of course it wouldn't happen these days, but it happened on stage. It was a spectacle, as I said, I think I said in the previous video, a spectacle of, it's not always if the music is 100%, it's perhaps the experience and something that will never be taken away from you if you actually went on. If you're one of these people that went to that show, it must have been mind-blowing, and you're certainly not going to forget it, apart from her tits hanging out, which she regularly used to sort of come on stage with virtually nothing on. A woman with attitude, you know. I think she'd come with a chainsaw as well, and saw guitars in half and things like that. So yeah, she was a real character, for real. I mean, rock and roll, punk, whatever you call it. She's up there with all the greatest rock and rollers that have ever been. So okay, the music's probably not hugely memorable, but the character Wendy O. Williams, and the Plasmatics, well, they had their day then, and it was good stuff for the punk era. Just another little nugget of information. Also, she was highly regarded by Lemmy, Motorhead fame, and I think they had a 20-year anniversary or 30-year anniversary gig, and again, you can probably find this on YouTube, and Lemmy introduces her, and I think she plays No Class. She sings No Class with him on stage, so he thought a lot of her. And I think he cut a single with her as well, called Stand By Your Man. I think he did a cover of that, her and Lemmy, so there you are. I didn't speak very long about Nina Hagen because I don't quite know what to say. I'm not the greatest person at perhaps conveying albums. I'm probably not a brilliant reviewer, am I really? But it's more a case of I just want to put these out here so that you can find out for yourself anyway. And I mean, the music will speak for itself anyway. So there you are, Nina Hagen, Nunsexmonkrock, and the Plasmatics, New Hope for the Wretched. And Nina Hagen's got the greatest voice, so much expression. Most females, these singers that you hear today, couldn't hold a torch to Nina Hagen. And Wendy O, alright, she didn't have the greatest singing voice, but boy did she have attitude, and I'd love to have been around to see one of her shows. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one.